Welcome in Arizona. We'll have an opening statement from Coach Lowe, then take questions for the student athletes, and then questions for Coach. Coach, ready when you are.
Well, first off, I just want to give props to everybody at this regional because some great softball was played this weekend. Villanova was absolutely fighting and scraping till the very end and gave us a run for our money, and just really excited and proud of the way our team competed from the first game throughout an entire weekend, and some tough softball. And, I think the game against Arkansas was mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausting. And then finding what was left in the tank today was a big deal, and coming through with the win at all costs. So just proud of the team for competing this weekend.
All right, we'll open it up for questions from Zoom. Cam, go ahead.
So, you guys like going to SEC country, I guess. What is it about playing down there that you guys you're so successful at it?
I feel like a lot of it for us is just the pride that we have in the Pac-12. I feel like we like to go and represent our conference very well. So anytime that we get to go play an SEC opponent, it's nice to go out there and kind of just show them what we can do in the Pac. And it feels good to win one for the conference. We're pulling for all of the Pac-12 schools right now in the postseason. So I think there's just a little bit of a chip on our shoulder of we like to prove that our conference is one of, if not the best in the country. So to continue that legacy on is a fun thing to do.
Brett?
Dakota, 2 home runs today. You've reached base a ton by walks over this season, let alone this weekend. Bunt singles. What is it right now that is just, obviously all season you've been playing so well, but what right now is clicking for you so much that you're able to literally do virtually anything at the plate at this point?
Yeah, I think it's just preparation. Like we prep a lot during practice, during our batting practice, during live at bats. And honestly, it's a whole team. Like we're so bought in with everything that we're doing during practice and just bringing it into the game. I think that's what's working so well.
Any more questions for student athletes? Go ahead, Kim.
For both of you, I know she didn't get a hit, but seeing Paige back there, again in the box, what does it mean to you guys to get her back?
I think she's just a phenomenal energy for us. You hate to see a player go down, like Paige, especially just an energetic force that just shows up every day willing to work. So it was very rewarding. I know that she probably wanted a different outcome with her at bat, but I was happy to see her. She went up there and took her swings and took her rips, and it was like she didn't skip a beat. So it was nice to get her back in the lineup. It's fun to have that type of personality back out there for us.
Brett?
Allie, I'll ask you this. Emily wasn't necessarily an everyday player to start the season, but look at her three for three with a home run in a regional championship winning game. What can you say about her growth to add just another level to what your team can do offensively, plus what she's able to do controlling the game behind the plate?
She is and is going to continue to be so good for us. I think that's the great thing about her. She's so composed for a freshman, especially to catch the amount of innings that she has for us is unreal. She's been such a steady force for us back there. And I have this biased inside joke with her that we're the righties in the lineup. So it's nice to have someone that you're pulling for like that every day. I'm like, woohoo, righties. But no, she's phenomenal. She just shows up and is so consistent. I've never seen someone line out so many times in a season, and she just every at bat is a good at bat. And so this year has been phenomenal for her in the sense of, I feel like just getting the experience of what she's doing right now against some really high level competition. She's only going to get better. So I think that that's something she doesn't play like a freshman. She doesn't act like a freshman. So to have that type of personality in our lineup and to just have her every single day is just a joy. I love that kid.
Kim?
Skaggs, we talked about how it was kind of personal with UCLA and how disappointed you were. So how did those losses help you?
Sorry, did you have more to that?
No, sorry, that was my problem with.
Yeah, I think with losing to UCLA is something that I feel like will fuel our team in any given way. So it's going to fire us up for anyone that we go play, because UCLA is obviously a top team in the country. So we're going to, anytime that we get to go play another top team, we're going to have that in the back of our mind of what do we need to do to beat this team now. It's so you're playing another great lineup in Arkansas, and we knew that this weekend we had to be on our game just as much as we'd be in any sort of Pac-12 tournament too, or Pac-12 weekend. So it fuels us, it fires us up, and we hate losing. I think that that's the thing for our team. We hate losing, and we know that we can and should win a lot of games. So it's just the fact that we know that we can show up to these games and these tournaments and put a beating on some teams. And so it's just wanting to not lose, wanting to kind of bury people.
Brett?
Dakota, I'll ask you this one. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I'll ask Coach this too. But from what we understand, you guys are going to kind of stick on the road for a while, not really necessarily get back to Tucson. And if that's the case, how do you guys feel about the idea that you can kind of be together for the next few weeks? I mean, hopefully the next few weeks from your sake, but at least this next week and potentially make Oklahoma home for a little while. And then side note to that, is it beneficial? This is maybe a weird question, but is it beneficial the way that U of A's academic system works on a semester system that you guys are done, whereas some schools are still in school right now? So you guys can just focus on softball from here on out.
Yeah, it's super nice to be done with school right now. I know some of my other friends who are still competing right now are still in school, so I wish them luck with their school. I'm happy to be done. But honestly, being on the road, that's no issue for us. I think we're still going to be bought in. We're going to be locked in with what we need to do. We're going to have our practices and our workouts, and then we're going to get to work. If we go home, we go home. If we stay on the road, we stay on the road. We've been on the road for a long time before, so this is nothing new to us.
Ladies, congrats on a great year.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for Coach Lowe. Brett, get us going.
Coach, just sum up the last 3 days. You obviously at the plate again today, as you guys did in the first game, shown that you can put up potentially double digits any single game. You had moments of pitching success and then we're able to battle through moments where it wasn't perfect. Sum up this weekend and what this means to getting to that next step of a super regional.
Well, it's huge. I mean, to me, the way they walked into this tournament was so spot on. And I thought we sat for a good while in a locker room before the tournament started in a lightning delay, and you just want to know how your team's going to respond and how they're going to come out in that first pitch. And they just made a statement, and they've been waiting for this moment, some of them for a very long time. And it felt good to see them kind of just come out on fire. That felt good. And at the same time, we were able to respond all weekend. We didn't play our best softball the entire weekend, but we responded to everything that happened. And, I think that's when we are dangerous. I was very proud of our pitching performance this weekend, the way they worked together, the way they, were able for Aisa to start and come in and close a game and still be ready and look like she just absolutely wanted the ball, give it to me. And proud of the way Brooke responded and Miranda setting tone. So, and then just top to bottom of our lineup, I think when they're locked in, all of them are dangerous, and you can see what we can do in one inning when we have quality at bats 1 through 9. So just very proud of that. And there's some things we need to clean up. And the crazy thing is, I think this team will be chomping at the bit to really clean things up on Tuesday to play better softball for this weekend. So I'm excited to get back to work.
Kim?
Talking about cleaning things up, there are a couple of miscues on defense that you're not used to. When those things happen, did they have any discussion afterwards, or is it just put away immediately and we'll worry about it later?
No, I think we lock it back in. I think that's the biggest thing. I think what I've been most proud of that kind of came to us in the middle of this season and we've stayed there is just how much we just are so into competing one pitch at a time. But, it feels like a collective group of 21 competing for one pitch at a time. And when we lose that mindset, when we get too far ahead of ourselves or we're thinking about something else, we're beatable. So just being able to kind of stay playing our game in that way, I think is really important for us. And it's something that we were able to find right after that, which is great to see.
Brett?
Coach, you heard me mention this to Dakota. Are you guys planning to kind of stick on the road now? Do you think is that your logistical plan to sort of, ride this out now that I think, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like it's Oklahoma City. I think they won today over Michigan. So, or I'm sorry, Oklahoma State and Stillwater. Yeah. So what are your guys' plans for this week and how you kind of project forward to being in Stillwater next weekend?
Well, I hadn't told them that, so you ruined the surprise. No, I don't totally know right now. My mind is still on Villanova, but I think we will probably try to stay on the road since we are pretty close. But yeah, I mean, I think this team loves the road. We have a lot of hitters that actually like the road better than competing at home numbers wise, and they also just love each other. I think it's cool to see them bond when they get on a long trip like this. And they had a blast watching great softball last night after their game. So yeah, whatever it is, we'll be ready.
Eric.
Coach, just take me through this, last year, obviously with missing the tournament, this year dealing with injuries and adversity to get to this point, to get back to a super regional. How have you been able to pull this off in such a quick time there and turn that around? And what has it been like to go through it?
I mean, it's a lot, but I will say, after the selection show last year, our team sat in my backyard for about an hour. They didn't want to leave each other. And they literally just sat there, talked about it, and just wanted this year to be different. And I can point at that day moving forward. I walked in the next day for my meetings before everybody went home, and half the team was in the weight room lifting and just on their own. I was like, what are you guys doing? And they were going in for a group lift, and it was just, they were locked in and ready to get to work for next year. And I think just says a lot about this team. I think it says a lot about our leadership, but it also says a lot about just that core of young, just studs we have coming through our program who, you could hear it from them and the connection between the young and the leadership up here, but they're just locked in and they hate losing, and they will do whatever it takes to, better themselves and better their game so that it didn't happen again. But more than that, it wasn't just being left out of it. They want to win the whole thing. So I think that's a different mindset as well.
Brett.
Coach, I had asked Dakota just about, being so locked in. And from your perspective, this is probably a setting up for an easy answer, but what is it like having a player who is so versatile in so many different ways, both in the field, obviously a stellar defender, a leader, but also can do literally anything at the plate for you at any time?
Literally anything. It's fantastic. And, it's not a surprise. And I know that sounds crazy, but I get to see her work every day. And, it's really fulfilling to see how much work she puts in, just as much on the defensive side as she does on the offensive side. And, hitters like that, they tend to, spend a lot of time on that offensive game. And she kills it at throwing the bases and pop-up crom and, getting to balls in the gap. And that's been a big thing for her, is not allowing any doubles this year. And just when she sets a goal, she works for it and gets inches better throughout a season. And she knows what it means to get inches better and just be a little bit better than she was the day before. And, I think the sky's the limit for her as far as, she doesn't have a ceiling, and she will continue to get better through her senior year.
Kim.
Speaking of Dakota, there's a lot of talk of her being underrated and maybe not getting the kind of attention a player of her caliber gets. Do you think that's related to just not being seen because she's on the West Coast? What do you think goes into that?
I don't know. I don't
Do you
know.
think the Big 12 will help?
I think people know her name. I know the Pac-12 knows her name. I know, they're getting to see how special she is and how special we get to see her be every single day at practice along with, our team. So I don't think she's underrated at all. I think she's a stud, and, she puts in the work every single day to really just, get back something from this game, and she keeps pouring into it. So just proud of her. And, the way she has led this weekend too, I think she's stepping into a new role that she hasn't had before.
Brett.
Coach, I asked this question earlier of Allie, when you have so much firepower in your lineup, to get a 3-for-3 day with a home run out of Emily and what she's been able to do to become not just an everyday player, but a key contributor and managing the pitching staff, everything she does. What can you say about what she's developed into as just a freshman so far?
I can't say enough. She had a drag bunt for a base hit today. It was fantastic, and I loved every second of it. And, I think when you're a freshman, the toughest thing to do is just let the game come to you. You want to go create things for yourselves, and sometimes you just try to do too much. And she went through a phase of that throughout the year, but it's pretty rare when you get to see freshmen kind of work through that and kind of settle in towards the end of the year. And I think she's done that for herself. I think she's a calming presence for our pitching staff. And I think she packs a punch in the 7-hole. And I can't say enough about our 7, 8, 9 and what they've been able to do for us this season. I think that makes, teams dangerous when you can turn over the lineup for someone like Dakota and Reagan coming up.
Coach Lowe, congrats.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
so much. Thanks for everything.
You bet. You got it. Good luck.